Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good.
Anybody know what a home inventory is?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. Again, my name is Steve Rogers. I'm owner of Home Safe Home Inventory, and I'm glad to be here. I'm glad everybody's here. So we'll just go ahead and get started. Can you predict the future? Can anybody here predict the future? I didn't think so. Well, you know what? You can't predict the future, but you can prepare for it. And I can help you with that. 72-hour emergency kit. Anybody have one of those at home? How about your car? No? Those are the types of things I help you do. A little bit about me. I'm a native of Fayetteville. I'm one of the rare ones. I guess there might be a couple more here that's from Fayetteville, but I've been here all my life with the exception of a few months here and there. I'm married, have 4 children. I'm sitting back there. She's here to give me some support as well as all the rest of you. I've got about 15 or 20 years experience in the alarm industry. I've done everything from install systems to sell them to service them, monitor the alarms when people call in frantic, their alarm went off, send the police, send the medics, send the fire department. It's I've heard it all, I've seen it all. I'm very active in the community doing things, doing presentations on safety, security, emergency preparedness at libraries, here at FTCC, on business continuity, things like that. How about the tornadoes 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago now? Y'all remember that, April 16th, 2011? Well, after that came about the Cumberland Disaster Recovery Coalition. And guess what? I'm the chair of that organization. And I say that because when it started, there was about 70 organizations or agencies representing the community after the day after the 2 or 3 days after the tornado. And they asked for leaders. Well, I raised my hand to be co-chair. Little did I know that, you know, if you become co-chair and the chair quits, you automatically become chair. So there I am. I'm also the executive director, unpaid, for Hope for Our Homeless, which is a homeless ministry that my wife and I started here in Cumberland County, and now we're a 501c3. So I'm very active in the community. I've done a lot of other things as well. We got another question. Has anyone here experienced a home fire? Wow, very, very touchy. Did you? Can you share real quick? Did you have to make anybody? Did you have to make a list of your belongings to give to your insurance company? I think you raised your hand. Did you raise your hand?
I did. I did not have to make the list only because it didn't detail that.
Okay. Anybody else? Did they have to make a list? Did you have a total? Did you?
It was actually my grandparents, but I helped them.
Okay. I've recently talked to an off-state insurance agent here in town, and she had a home fire back in August. And I met with her about a week ago, and she said 2 weeks, and now 3 weeks ago, she said she just finished up writing her list. And this is an insurance agent. You know, when you get your homeowner's insurance, they give you a little brochure that says home inventory record. You probably put it in a file, don't you? Yeah. That's what everybody does. That's kind of how I started this business. Because I saw that, and I was like, why don't I start this business? Because nobody does their inventory. I've got a little bit about glass breaking. So, have you ever heard that in the middle of the night? You don't want to either. So, you know, have an alarm system, but this guy's cleaning up some broken glass where he was broken into. So, has anybody in the office or in here had an experience with a break-in? Did you have your serial numbers and model numbers? Nope. If you go to bethebadge.com, which is the Fayetteville City Police Department, pull up incident reports, go on there and look at all the police reports. Nobody has serial model numbers. How do you expect to get your stuff back if you don't record what you have? Most people don't know what they have. I guarantee if I was to come and do an inventory of your home, you would say one of 2 things. Where did you find that? Or I forgot I had that. All of my clients have said that to me, one or the other. All of them. So what is an inventory? An inventory is a detailed photographic and written inventory, basically that details documentation of all your personal property for residential clients and all of your assets for business clients. So if you have a business, I'll come in and document all of your assets. Written and photographic and then personal property for residential. Basically, Some multi-step process, go in and take documentation. Sorry, that was the mic on my, sounded kind of like a record player. But you've got information here, all photographs, also put it on a disc for you. It comes in this nice little binder that you can quickly grab and give to the police department or your insurance company. So that's basically what an inventory consists of. Benefits of having an inventory. These top three are probably insurance coverage. Basically ensures that you're adequately insured. That's the main reason people do home inventories. Police reports, having the model and serial numbers are very important to item recovery. Estate planning. If you have a loss of a loved one, if you had an inventory completed beforehand, it makes the process a whole lot smoother. There's no sibling rivalry or anything like that. Moving in and out, that helps when you say, well, this piece of furniture from my great-great-grandmother was not scratched up like it is now. I have pictures of it. Here's the proof. Financial advisors can use this to get the actual net worth of a person's portfolio. Legal matters, getting ready to go through a divorce or any type of other thing, that always helps to equitable division of property. Taxes, what are you going to claim? That's mostly for business owners. That's the main reason they have an inventory completed. And property management, I go anywhere in the state, I go anywhere in the United States, wherever you want me to do, as long as you provide me a plane ticket. That was good. No, it is important to have, if you rent property, have me document everything. I had a lady had a rental, and she kicked her tenants out because they weren't paying the bill, and about 2 months afterwards, her condo flooded. Why did it flood? The tenants took the hot water heater with them and replaced it with an old one that was rusted out, and it flooded. So she had no way to prove that. So it's very important to document your property. Other services that I offer at Home Safe Home Inventory, I am an independent contractor for a local alarm company, so I can do alarm systems, fire alarm systems, burglar alarm systems, camera systems, anything, TV mountings, anything low voltage I can handle through another company that I work for. I do business continuity planning. Like I said earlier, I do a class here at Fayetteville. I think I've got one coming up in April. I'm not sure the date, but so be on the lookout for that. Emergency preparedness, again, 72-hour kits. I do all sorts of things with emergency preparedness. I do home prepared parties. If you have children, I highly recommend doing this. Do you do fire drills at your home? If you have small kids or grandkids, you should. They do them in school. Not as much as they used to. I know when I grew up, we did tornado and fire drills at least once a month. I remember. House Watch. House Watch is a home and pet sitting service that I offer for my clients here in Cumberland County. I am a notary, and I do safety and security audits, and I also do speaking engagements similar to this. So if you have a church group, a civic group, a community watch group, I'll be glad to come and set up a program, and I can talk about anything safety, security, or emergency preparedness wise. So that's pretty much that in a nutshell. Some testimonials. I'm not going to read all of that, but basically this is one from a lady. How much stuff we actually own? They were surprised. Again, where did you find that? And I forgot I had that. It happens. Every single client that I have says one of those two things. Just a quick story is one of my clients, a business client I had, about 3 weeks after I completed the inventory, he was broken into. And it's kind of comical now. It wasn't at the time, but he had a TV on the wall, and the two double doors, glass doors with the little bar in the middle. Well, the criminal took a hammer and threw it and broke the glass. Went underneath the bar, tried to grab the TV off the wall. It fell and busted into pieces. He said, man, and he went and grabbed 2 laptop computers and started to run back out. When he ran back out, he ran through the wrong door, and what happened? He bounced off of the glass. So that's kind of why it was comical. But what I'm trying to get to is the client actually went, when the police came out, he went to his report and grabbed his sheet from his TV, and he grabbed his 2 laptop sheets, and he was able to give those to the police department, to the investigator. There had all the serial numbers, the pictures of everything, model numbers. He was able to get his claim processed a lot quicker. and made it a lot smoother. So just a couple of testimonials there. So my suggestion is start preparing today for the unexpected tomorrow. And here's a little bit of information about how you can contact me. I do have a Facebook page. I have a YouTube page. You can see all of that. Pretty much Home Safe Home inventory. And I appreciate your time. And the rest is just kind of some slides that I've thrown up there, and some things that I do. I think it should just start dissipating. So I'll take any questions. I appreciate your time. Yes, sir.
So what are the things that you want from this audience?
Just questions. Do you have any questions about anything safety, security, emergency preparedness wise? My biggest issue, I know one of the questions that I would like answered from you all is, how can I get this information out there? How many people remember about 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago, home inspectors? How many were there? Not many. There's a lot of them now. I mean, they're pretty much a dime a dozen. And I don't mean that loosely, but this is where this is going. Because crime is what? Only going up. So it's very important to get this done, to take a proactive step in your life. You work hard for all your stuff. Why not protect it? I mean, an alarm system will deter theft, but it's not going to keep something from happening, such as a tornado or a fire. Yes, sir.
You were mentioning you want to get the word out, that type of thing, marketing. Do you market it all to bar associations, local law firms, anything like that?
I do have a semi-close relationship with the Fayetteville City Police Department and Sheriff's Office. I do go to their events from time to time.
Before coming here to teach, I was a full-time practicing attorney and did a lot of estate work. And I've had fire losses, I've represented people and estates, and I could see where your inventories are helpful for estate taxes, estate audits, all of that.
Right.
Could be a market for you.
I appreciate that. And I have reached out to several attorneys, but really and truly, if you have any attorneys, you know any attorneys, take one of my business cards and give me a warm introduction. I would greatly appreciate it, because that's what I do. Because if you see this in print somewhere, what are you going to do? You're going to think, what is a home inventory? But this here is a little bit more of everything that I do. I'm talking about fire drills and all of that. So, yes, sir.
What are included in that 72 hours emergency kit?
This is just a demo kit. This one here is one of my new ones that I've added. Y'all, everybody knows what that is, right? Why do you think you need cash in a 72-hour kit?
ATMs don't work.
ATMs don't work. Credit card machines may be down. You have to have cash, and make it smaller. Don't just put a $100 bill in there, because that's not going to work. But there's a list that I can provide you. If you take one of my business cards and send me an email, I'll put you on I do have a newsletter that I'm getting ready to start up that's going to provide all of that type of stuff.
It was interesting. We had a chance to go down after Katrina down to Gulfport, and the people that had to evacuate there, and their stories of trying to get back into their homes. One was cash, and the other was all of their important documents. They thought they were just going for the evening and coming back the next day and everything was going to be fine.
Okay.
And they came back and everything was either flooded or gone.
Right.
And they didn't have birth certificates, they didn't have social security cards, they didn't have anything to prove who they were, and to be able to get back in and do business, at least along that realm. But one of the things they talked about was having enough cash on hand.
Right, and that's a very good point. Your important papers. Men take pictures of everything in your wallet. Ladies take pictures of everything in your purse. And when I say everything, I'm talking about social security card, license, credit cards, the front and back. That way you have all that information and put it in there. How many people have pets? Dogs, cats, fish, turtles, whatever. Take pictures of your pets, especially dogs and cats. Take pictures with yourself. Make copies of your shot records, of the pet's shot records, not your shot records. Of course, that would be a good idea too, but copies of your pet shot records. put them in your 72-hour kit. If you have to leave in an emergency, when those tornadoes hit, I'm on the Cumberland County CERT, and we were bringing people in to take them to the shelter. One man, all he was carrying, he had on a tank top, a pair of shorts, a pair of flip-flops, and carrying a briefcase. Everything else went right out of the ceiling. He lived on the second-story apartment over off of Riley Road. Everything gone like that. Pretty sad. So put everything in your 72-hour kit. Now this is just a mock. I keep this one in my vehicle. The one I have at home is a big duffel bag, and then each one of my kids has their own little backpack. We change it out 2 times a year when time changes. I also check my smoke detectors. So I think you had a question.
Yeah, you listed a lot of things that you're involved in as part of your service.
Yes, sir.
And my question, I have 2 questions. How many people do you have to help you, and how do you charge for your service?
I am the only one that does the actual, I take that back. My daughter has helped me from time to time when I have a bigger size job, like if I had a 5,000 square foot house. A client wanted me to do while his, I hate to use this, but his wife was away on vacation or away on the weekend, and he wanted it done right away. And so I basically had my daughter's help, and we went in and did the house in about 10 hours, I believe. So I'm the only one that does it, and unless it grows by leaps and bounds, I don't plan on hiring anybody. Again, unless it starts to grow, which I hope it does. But my daughter helps me from time to time. Pricing, I charge by the square foot for a ballpark price. It's about 20 cents a square foot. So if you have a 2,000 square foot house, it's $400. Very, very minimal compared to what it does. It actually ensures that you're adequately insured. My very first client was $80,000 underinsured. Now, if he would have had a loss to a home fire, he would have never received all of his money back. None. I mean, he didn't have anything done, but now he's adequately insured because once I finished the product, he called his insurance agent and said, "Look, Steve did an inventory on my home, and my insurance deck page says only insured to $100,000. I need $180,000. So can you help me out?" And of course they did. Insurance premium went up by $200 a year, so the insurance company was happy. He was happy because now he's covered, and I was happy because I got paid. So it was a win-win-win. Yes, sir.
Is this something that, are you collaborating with insurance companies to try to promote what you offer? Because it sounds like you work hand in hand.
Yeah, I do. Again, I try to talk to as many insurance agents as I can. So if you know any insurance agents, or if you are an insurance agent, I'd really like to talk to you. But it's great to have that collaboration and work together, that partnership. I do give referral fees, so it's something that's very, very good to have. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just recommendations. Sounds like to me, like you say, you got a pretty good concept there. But I would recommend that you need to. I would hire me somebody, even on a part-time basis, just to do the marketing part. Because I would, with you, it sounds like you're focusing in the business versus on the business. In other words, you're in the business, but I would certainly hire me a part-time person to focus on who loves marketing, who has the experience of getting, like you say, getting the word out.
Right.
And that frees you up to really take care of the nuts and bolts of your business.
Okay.
Because it sounds like you're trying to do both, and it's very hard to do that.
Yeah. It is
Working in the
tough.
business and on the business as well.
It is tough, but I'm working it. My wife does a lot of the home side of it, the website and Facebook and all that stuff. So it's my business, but she's also a manager of the business. We're LLC, and but she's never been. I think she's been to 2 events with me, but she's never been on a job with me. The only person that's been on a job with me is my daughter back there to a couple of events. But that's a good point, because I do need to market it. But did anybody here know about a service such as mine before you came here this morning? I think a couple of people did. I've been on a few radio shows, but that just doesn't cut it. I mean, I've got to do more. So, and word of mouth and getting in front of organizations to give presentations is really my best way right now. Maybe once it starts to pick up a little bit, I can do some more things. But I have been invited to write an article in a local distribution newspaper starting at the beginning of the year. So be on the lookout for that. Yes, sir.
Do you have an insurance agent?
Do I have an insurance agent? What do you mean?
For your house or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Have you tried them?
Yes.
Get them to mail out for you?
Yes.
You just got a couple of insurance agents to mail out for them. Seems like it would work in their favor as well as yours because it would keep the fraud down.
Yeah. And it does.
From that angle, and there's, I don't want to say that they're, I don't know how to describe it, but there's plenty of insurance agents. I mean, just buckets of them. And I get one-page letters from them all the time to solicit business.
Yeah.
It would be a simple adjunct to just put in there and to assist you, and we have Steve that does this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And restoration companies as well. They're all over the map now. And once a person has a flood or a fire, small one, they come in and take care of it. It's a simple thing to give them your card to, because it's already happened once. They'd be a prime suspect. And the last thing, on the websites or whatever you do, I would start with not a loss leader, but anybody's looking for emergency anything, I'd have that kit, a page on your website optimized for that kit, kind of describe what's in it, or make it a free report of what you need in your emergency kit, and that, which is like a funnel which leads into you, and get that, because that's a motivated searcher right there. Anybody that's looking for emergency
Yeah.
you know, help for your teeth or fire, flood, or whatever, you're right in there in the mix. Just a couple of marketing things.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Just to add on what he's saying, I think if you market your product more as from an advisory standpoint, because you sound like a security advisor, more than trying to sell a product specifically, it keeps your focus general. And for me personally, I'd be less interested in spending $400 one time for you to take inventory on my home versus being a member and knowing that as my security advisor, I can consistently revise my list if I need to. If I need home security advice, you can help me with that and setting up my alarm. So you be the one-stop shop, so to speak, but you have an attachment to me as a member or an ongoing client. I think residually that'll probably be more profitable for you as well.
That's a good idea.
It is a good idea. It makes you the go-to guy in the area.
Yeah. And I've thought about something. I do updates with my clients. But that
do you charge the same price again?
Okay. It's a smaller fee. I mean, it's like $40. Depending on how much.
$400 sounds expensive for 2,000 square for this list. But if I know that if I pay a membership, I'll have access to this list. I'll have access to emergency kit, all the other things that you name. It may cost extra, but at least I know that if I have a question, I don't have to go to this company for this and that one for that, and you for just these products. Because it sounds like you offer everything under the security umbrella.
Pretty much, I do. Yes. I think. Did you have?
I was just going to say, I know as far as the marketing is concerned, and it kind of touches on what everybody else has said. You know, and a lot of it has been like written. Whenever we get all of these things, ads in the mail for insurance companies, and they usually get right to the shredder without being open. So I'm thinking word of mouth instead of in written form, maybe little tags on different radio stations, little commercials. Even if you can get whoever your insurance companies are that you're making connections with, just have them tag you in their commercials. Because a lot of times somebody will hear something and it'll click and stir their interest more so than seeing it written, because we see so much now, and a lot of times when we hear it, it connects with us more.
Thank you.
So I'm a property owner, and I'm not really interested in seeing my insurance rates go up, but I would be interested in seeing them go down. For instance, if my tenants, we ran a fire drill for them, or if you came and did an inspection twice a year, I have a property manager, but she's my mom. She doesn't necessarily, she's not gonna go digging through, making sure that, you know, my exits are secure and this, that, and the other thing. Have you considered working with property managers or with renters to make sure that they're safe and they have exit routes?
I have reached out to a few, but not probably enough. I think like the gentleman back here said, that's probably what I need to do is hire somebody to do stuff like that. Because insurance agents, attorneys, property, all that stuff, it takes a lot of time because it takes that time to set those appointments and meet with those people, because I've tried walking in cold turkey to go talk to, you know, an insurance agent, and they're like, why are you here? You're bugging me. I'm trying to help you provide a good service to your clients, but anyway.
And that subscription service, that's a really great idea.
Yeah, and I like that idea, and that might be something I'll look into, as well as everything else that was here. Yes, ma'am?
Do you work with the military at all? Because this would be a really good thing. 'Cause think about it, 9 times out of 10, if a soldier's married, their wife handles everything. And they tend to move very frequently depending on their job.
Right.
And you take a lot of young couples, I wouldn't go with myself. You don't think about these things because the only thing you're worried about is your husband's got the paperwork, you know where your next duty station is. That's all you need to know. Until something happens, and then you're in that panic mode of, where's the will? Did he do this or did she do this? You know, you don't think about all these things until it happens.
Until it happens. You're exactly right. And then when I was selling alarm systems, that was the same thing. 85 to 90% of my clients when I was selling alarm systems had just got broken into. But I do reach out to the military. I went, I think a couple of months ago, they had like an emergency preparedness fair or safety fair. I went and set up a table at that. You know, but again, it's top of mind. You know, I'm telling you about doing an inventory, and it is something you can do yourself. You know, and that to me is my competition. You are my competition. Nobody else is doing this in town that I know of. You are my competition because you can do this yourself. The question is, will you? The question is, will you? Yes, sir.
Thinking that one of the things you might think about is the reverse of what we've talked about. Instead of hiring somebody to do the marketing, you seem to be the best marketer for this particular service. You might consider hiring other people to do the actual photography and those kinds of more technical things, and you be the person that's selling this.
I like.
You're not going to find anybody else who's as passionate about this as you are.
Right. That's a good point. And you know, and probably what I will do is, my daughter's sitting right back there, and she's helped me on a couple of these, so she has the experience. So she might be my first employee when that time comes around. Yes, sir.
There's a good book that piggybacks what he's talking about called, I don't know if you haven't read the book, E-Myth.
What is it?
The E-Myth.
E-Myth?
Yeah, E-M-I-T-H. It talks exactly what he's telling you about how to position yourself to where you are in the area most effective for your business.
Right.
But it's a great book. It's a good book to get you in.
Steve, along with helping you market your business and get the word out, what is something else the community can do for you?
Build a 72-hour kit yourself. Be prepared yourself. There's a thing going around that says it's not a matter of if anymore, it's a matter of when. I don't really, my wife and I used to say that a lot. My wife and I kind of discussed that, and she said that's kind of hard to say. And I thought about it, it is. Her grandmother lived to be 80 years old and never had an incident, never had a home fire, never had a break-in. So, you know, that wind didn't pertain to her. But who thought we would have had a tornado here as bad as it was 3 years ago? I didn't. The last tornado I remember was back in '84, but it was in Red Springs. How about Hurricane Fran back in '96? I was without power for over a week. Cold showers build character, I can tell you that. But what you can do, for me, is get yourself a 72-hour kit. Build yourself a 72-hour kit. They're very easy to do. Most of the things you probably have in your home. That would make me feel good to know that you're prepared. What's on the back of my business cards, that's what it says. Are you prepared? And it's not just talking about a 72-hour kit, it's talking about a lot of things. You know, take inventory, your priorities, your possessions, and your life. And you can do that.
Yeah, I would also recommend one other thing. I mean, you mentioned Social Security cards and that kind of stuff. I think people ought to put those in the safe deposit box, someplace for documents that are real important that you're really not going to use, but you need to have them when you need to have them, and they'd be safer and secure in that type of situation.
And just to add on to that, a lot of folks, there's a lot of apps out there you can do with your smartphone to do inventories, and a lot of over the internet. I don't do anything over the internet. Everything I have is right there. Nothing goes over the internet. So, I mean, there's options out there, but you know, you can. I tell some folks you can email yourself your list, but yeah, do that. Put everything in a safe deposit box. That's why I put it on my desk. You can give that to your safe deposit box for your insurance.
Thank you.
But thank you very much.